Welcome everybody. This is the Entrepreneur and Small Business Institute. Today we have a talk on getting interested new customers in 3-minute conversations. So for those of you who haven't met me, that's me on the right. My name is DanaGarrison. This is the Entrepreneur and Small Business Institute. And the training today, the training about helping you get customers with using 3-minute conversations and helping you network even better so that you're coming home with a lot of people who want to talk to you. Who is this training for? This training is for those who want more ease in getting new customers. So getting new customers is usually one of the hardest things to do, and also usually one of the most expensive things to do. Customer acquisition is usually one of the most cost-intensive things in a person's business. So I want to teach you a way to do this absolutely for free. And this is for you if you are tired of networking and going out networking and it not producing many results when you come home. So if you go out networking and you're coming home and not a whole lot's happening or not as much as you'd like is happening after the fact, this is what today is for. That is what this training is for. And this is for you if you want a wait list of people wanting to talk to you when you come home. So this is a regular thing for me now, going out to a networking event and coming home with a wait list of people wanting to talk to me. And it's such a beautiful, wonderful experience. It makes networking so much more fun and so much more productive, such a better return on investment of your time and attention. And I want you to have the same experience. So that's who this training is for. And if you haven't met me yet, just a little bit about me, a little bit about my background so you know who's delivering the training today, who your presenter is, and also who is running ESBI. So I'm DanaGarrison. I'm the president of ESBI. And to give you a little bit of background on me so you know a little bit about my street cred, if you will, I am a master's level counselor, and I actually left that field and became a serial entrepreneur. Never knew it, never would have guessed it, but I actually love the whole world of entrepreneurism. And I became a public speaker and a trainer, hence running this training right now. And I teach and train on a lot of different things around business, specifically, usually, how to get your business to grow really quickly and really easily. And something that's worth knowing about me is that I've had chronic Lyme disease for the last 11 years. Now I tell you this because I want to kind of pull the curtain back and kind of give you some quick, deep insight into the more personal side of things about me. And this, I believe, is important because for any of you who know anything about chronic Lyme disease, it gives you chronic fatigue, it gives you insomnia, it gives you brain fog, trouble, it can give you trouble thinking, trouble with clarity and focus. And I already came into the world slightly dyslexic and with ADD, attention deficit disorder. So I've had a lot of things writing against me. And I'm sure that some of you can relate because most of us don't live a life that has, 0 roadblocks. And I want to provide this little bit of insight and this little piece of sort of the personal side behind me because I grew my company to 6 figures in less than a year with all of that going against me. And I travel for 4 months out of every year. And I don't say this to impress you, but to impress upon you that if I can do it, if this girl with chronic Lyme disease and insomnia and ADD and dyslexia can do this, then you can do this too. And I'm not saying that, according to everybody's ethos, that business is easy. What I've had to figure out over time is how to make business easy because I had so much writing against me that I had to figure out a way to simplify business and really boil it down to the core essentials of what is, it's all about, you've heard this before, working smarter and not harder. So what are the most leveraged return on investment activities that I can do with my limited time and energy that's going to give me the most in return? And so the thing that I teach the most and the way that I help people the most really has to do with what's helped me be successful And that is the secret sauce. My secret sauce is that I worked on my inner game of success and my outer game of success at the same time. And so the outer game of success, I'm calling that, the business intelligence, the business secrets. How do you simplify business? What are the most, highly return on investment activities that you can do? How can you work smarter, not harder? That's outer game of success. Inner game of success, working on the inner blocks that actually hold you back from being successful. We actually come into the world, and many of us, we've got blocks around receiving money. We've grown up around a lot of different messages around money. Money's hard to get. Money's hard to keep. We can't afford that. That's too expensive. These all have an effect on your business. So really working on your inner game and being able to receive money, being able to have, to feel permission for business success and to address any parts of you that are uncomfortable with that. That is hugely important and totally overlooked. Totally overlooked most of the time. And it's because I did both that I was able to succeed so quickly. So that's a little bit of background about me, just so you know kind of, where this is coming from. And it really is going to inform our training today on how do you go out to a networking event or anywhere, forget networking event, a party, on the tube, on the subway, on the Muni. How do you just be around people and end up coming home with a wait list of people that want to talk to you? So that's what this is about today, making the best leveraged use of meeting somebody. And for those of you that are curious, there's the website DanaGarrison.com if you want to see a little bit more about my background. So the name of the game today is we want to get you new customers. We want to get you more ease with being able to get new customers. And I want to teach you a format for how to come home, like I said, with a wait list of people that want to talk to you. It's a 4-step training, and today we're going to focus on the first step. The first step is the what do you do statement. When people meet you, the first thing they usually ask is, hey, what do you do? It's usually one of the things they ask. And so how you tell people what you do is really important because you want to be able to spark interest and curiosity. You want them to say, wait, what do you do? Wait, how do you do that? Oh my gosh, tell me more. What? So you want that question right afterwards. You want that curiosity sparked. And I'm going to teach you how to do that today. And then in future trainings over the next few weeks, I'll be teaching you the rest of this format, which is after you tell them what you do, you want to be able to give them an appetizer. Give them a taste of what you do, right? Give them a taste of you using the ask method, the ASQ method, the ask method, and I'll teach you that next time. And then we're going to talk about avoiding pitfalls, right? During these conversations, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. And I don't mean terribly wrong, but they can just go in the direction of not working out so that you're walking home with a wait list of people who want to talk to you. So I'm going to teach you how to avoid those pitfalls. And I don't want you to let the conversation take a turn for the worse and then just lose the opportunity. And then we're going to end with book it. How do you get the digits and leave with a wait list of excited interest? So it's a 4-step process, and today we're going to work on what do you do? How do you answer the question, what do you do in such a way that you spark interest and curiosity? So if you get the question, what do you do? Most people's tendency is to answer the question by saying the title of what they do. I'm a massage therapist. I'm a dentist. I'm an interior designer. Now the problem with this is that when you say the title, what your actual kind of title is, the minute you name what you are, people put you in a box. People put you in a box because they've heard about someone like you before, or they've met someone like you before, or they've worked with someone like you before. Oh, you're a massage therapist? Yeah, I've gone to a massage therapist before. It's just a bunch of relaxing stuff. I don't need that. I can just relax in the tub. Oh, you're a dentist? Yeah, I hate going to the dentist. They always hurt me. It's always really uncomfortable. Yeah, dentist, whatever. I already got one. Oh, you're an interior designer. Yeah, my friend hired an interior designer. Their house ended up looking like a hotel. I don't want an interior designer. I don't like living in a hotel. I like living in a house that feels like a home, right? So they put you in a box based on whatever past experience they've had. And you don't know what their past experience is, but rest assured that they're going to lump you into some category. And that's highly, highly unuseful for you. It also doesn't spark a whole lot of interest. If you say, oh yeah, I'm an interior designer, people are like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. Well, and they often tell you what they are, right? Now that's not how we want the conversation to flow. We don't want to just exchange polite titles with each other. We want to capture interest. We want to spark some curiosity. Let me introduce to you a different way to do that. So let's say someone says, what do you do? I might answer them with this. I help entrepreneurs who want to get more customers. I help them get an explosion of clients and income in 90 days or less. Now most of the time if I'm out in public and I say something like that, people usually, especially if they're an entrepreneur or their friends are entrepreneurs, their family members are entrepreneurs, they'll say, wait a minute, what? How do you do that? What do you do? And you get these kind of very curious questions. And so let's break that down. By the way, this is not just a training where I'm going to sit and talk and you're just going to kind of be there and listen. I want this to be an interactive training. So first of all, grab a paper and a pen or open a page up on your laptop. I'm actually going to walk you through step by step so that when you leave this training, you actually walk away with your what do you do statement completely prepared and ready to go, ready for your test runs. So here's a few formats. I'm going to teach you the first part of the phrase. The first part of the phrase, and again for those of you who just joined us, if you go into the email that you got, the reminder email from Maestro Conference, there should be a link in there that allows you to click on it and watch the presentation. So you can watch the slides that I have up right now. And if you don't have that ability for whatever reason, feel free to listen along. I'm going to be recording this, and hopefully if the recording works out well, you'll be able to watch the replay with the slides. So here we go. The way that you can begin this sentence, I help blank. I work with blank. And what goes in the blank is, who is your best customer? Or who is your ideal customer? And here it is useful to be specific. So if you say, I work with people, that's not as useful. Because let me teach you a quick secret here to when you're speaking to somebody. No matter if you're at a networking event, a party, or on the subway, if you're talking to someone and they say, what do you do? I really want to steer you away from trying to turn that person into a customer, that person who's sitting right in front of you. I really want to encourage you to not try to, close this person or get a sale. Instead, I want you to think about it from this perspective. I want you to tap into this person's entire network. So imagine that the person who's sitting in front of you knows 100 people. Instead of trying to convert this person into a customer, I'd like to invite you to approach them as an ambassador of their entire network, of the 100 other people they know. You're going to be basically saying what you do so that they can self-select anyone that they know of those 100 people that fits what you do. So the first part of that sentence then is to fill in the blank with who you work with or who you serve as specifically as possible. If you say, I work with people, then the person who's listening to you is going to be like, well, that's the whole 100 people I know. That's a lot of, it's not specific enough, and they can't begin to hone in on who's the right customer for you. So it's much better if you fill in the blank with who you actually work with. So for example, I work with entrepreneurs. Even more specific, I help women 30 and over. I help women age 30 and over. Another example, I work with people who have aging parents. So anything you can do to get more specific about who you work with. And I know that a lot of us work with a lot of people, but in order to fill in this blank, I want to encourage you to just choose the demographic of your best customer or your ideal customer. So think about who in the past has been some of your best customers, some of your favorites, or who in the future would be some of your favorites. And then fill in that blank. I help entrepreneurs. I work with entrepreneurs. I help women 30 and over. So take a moment. You've got a few different ways to phrase it. I help, I work with. Some people say I serve. Take a moment and jot down who your ideal client, your best client often is. If you have a question, raise your hand by pressing 1 on your phone. But I need to clarify, or if you'd like me to clarify anything about step 1. Hey, Asha, you're on the air.
Hi, Dana. Is it Dana?
It is Dana. Hello.
Hi. I'm a Mary Kay consultant, and I was just wondering if you can give me like a good example of how to approach a possible client or a possible team member with this first step.
When you say approach, do you mean how to fill in this blank or how to teach other people how to use this step?
How to fill in the blank.
How to fill in the blank. Okay. So if you are using cosmetics, and by the way, we're going to go into some laser coaching with this in a minute. I mainly wanted to open for questions in case this part isn't clear. So I will ask everybody that wants some laser coaching to raise their hands and I can help you shape your sentences. And I'll go ahead and answer this right now because you're right here. So with cosmetics, I imagine you're mainly going to be working with women, so that already narrows the field, right? Now keep in mind, I understand that people work with many people, right? We work with more than one. Many people, many times people work with, like with cosmetics. I'm sure you have cosmetics that men use. And, or like there's face creams, there's face washes, there's all kind of stuff. However, when it comes to using this sentence, it's useful to narrow down so that you can help the person that's listening to you be able to more quickly and easily find some people to refer to you. So one of the secrets is to know who you're talking to or know what room you're in. If you're networking and you're in a room of mainly women, it's probably good enough for you to say, for that night, for you to use the phrase, I work with women. And you can say something even like, I work with women 20 and older, 20 and up. The reason that it's nice to shave it down a little bit is just to help people think through who might be your customer. And if you make it too broad, it's hard for people to narrow down. Now you can just stick with, I work with women. But the question is, and don't think about this from the perspective of, oh my gosh, if I narrow it down and just say women, I won't get any male clients. You will get male clients. It's not going to block that possibility from happening. And if you're in a networking event and you're speaking to a man, you can change the sentence in that moment to I work with men, and then say the rest of your sentence. So you're not stuck with one sentence. Let me just make this clear to everyone. You're not stuck with just one sentence. This sentence is malleable depending on what room you're in or depending on who the person is that's standing in front of you. So one way to narrow that down is to simply just choose, right? And you'll let me just clarify. Let me say it a different way. You'll probably have 2 or 3 versions of this sentence that you're going to keep in your back pocket. And you're going to rotate which one you're using depending on who you're talking to. So right now, Asha, just focus on choosing one example just so you can get through the model and understand how the model works. So for now, can we just say women? Because I'm guessing it's your bigger proportion of customers is women?
Are you asking me a question?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Is the bigger proportion of your customers women?
Predominantly it is women that I will be selling to, yes.
Okay, so for now, let's start with that. So I work with women, and if you want to add a little bit more narrowing down to that, you can. Women 20 and older. You might even just say I work with business women if you want to narrow that down in a different way. I'm sure you've heard this before. It is useful, it can be useful to niche down, to have some specific populations that you work with, because then you get kind of known for that. So thank you for that question. And keep in mind that the questions right now are specifically to clarify if you need clarification on what I've shared so far with this particular phrasing, not to get coaching on what to say for your sentence. That comes later today. So, Jana, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
It's nice to talk to you in a different context.
Hello.
Hi. Or I guess it's related, inner game, outer game. So I had a question with the phrasing of if this was too, in this new direction I'm moving, if this wasn't specific enough or out there, which was I serve women who want more creative freedom in their lives.
Okay, so the plan for doing laser coaching after we get through teaching the sentences sounds like it's not going to work. So we're going to switch gears, and I'm going to answer some questions on. I'm going to answer a few questions so that you can have clarity on a little bit more clarity on how to do this part of the sentence before we move on to the next part. So, say that sentence again, love.
I serve women who want more creative freedom in their lives.
Okay, so we're not to the part where we're talking about what they want. That's next. We're just talking about the population of who you want. So this is a three-part sentence. Right now we're only on part one, which is naming your population. So you named women. Awesome. Great. That's perfect.
Okay.
Okay, wonderful. Let me put your hand down and come over here to Alan. Hello, Alan. You're on the air.
Hi. Hi, Dana. I think my main question is just to ask, sometimes, like say for example, for a small startup, how do you actually find your niche market if like the idea hasn't been like that tested, or you're not sure exactly yet how you're going to like make this happen?
Yeah. Well, when you're that new, when anyone is that new,
yeah.
and you're going to go out there and start experimenting with this sentence, because it still is useful when you're brand new to start getting accustomed to this sentence and testing out different niche markets. So what I would recommend is do your best to just find a couple niche, a couple populations that you think you might work with, and write that down for today so that you can go out into the world and actually experiment with this sentence and see what kind of feedback you get. Because let's say you think, okay, I'm going to choose as one of my populations women over 50. And then so you go out and you're practicing the sentence, and yeah, I work with women over 50, and the product that you have is something that is online, and it's a program, and it's quite complex. You might notice that as you go out and use a sentence, and you're talking to women over 50, they go, you know what, this doesn't sound like something I'd use. Ha-ha, perfect. So now using this sentence has given you some feedback as to, maybe this isn't the best population for us to work with. So when it's early on in the game, choose a few sample populations that you think might be your favorite populations to work with, and then go out and test the sentence, see how it works. And of course, if the product isn't ready yet, or if the service isn't ready yet, and you do meet some of your customers out there, it's a great way to ask them more questions and do a little bit of market research so you really can shape your product or your service into something that does fit their needs. So to answer your question, early on, make a couple choices, practice the sentence, and then get in touch with people during that process and learn more about whether or not they're a good fit for what you do, or whether or not you need to tweak your product or service to fit the market.
I see.
Excellent question.
Would you recommend like a site where we can do some sort of like marketing research, or is the only like suggestion that you could give us would be like actually just like asking people out there?
Alan Love, this training is specifically on how to use what I'm going to teach you today to go out in the world and come home with a wait list of customers that are interested in talking to you. So that question, my dear, you'll have to hold on to until we have some open frame coaching at one of these events. So hold on to that question. And thank you for that other question, because it's a great question. All right. Barbara, you're on the air. Barbara Durand, are you there? I think you're on the air. Hello? Barbara, I can't hear you. We need to check that your microphone is working. So I went ahead and muted your mic again in case it pops back on all of a sudden while I'm talking with someone. Raise your hand again if you can find the place to turn your microphone on, and then we can hear you. And I'll move to our last question, which is, I think it's our last question, which is Abby. Hello, Abby.
Hello.
Are you there? Abby?
No.
Hello? I heard a hello. But I can't hear much else. Sound very far away and very broken up. All right, apologies, Abby. We cannot hear you. So let's return to our page here. All right. So I help, and then fill in the blank with your population, with your best client or your favorite client. I work with, that's the first part of the sentence. The second part is who want blank, or who are struggling with blank, or who need help with blank. So there's a few different ways you can phrase that I wanted to share with you. Who want, who are struggling with, who need help with. And some examples are who want to get more customers. So what you fill in the blank with here is the juicy problem that you solve. The reason that I use the word juicy is don't make it kind of a small problem or a side problem or not that interesting problem. Name one of the biggest problems that your population has that you actually help with. So for example, who want to get more customers. I work with a lot of entrepreneurs. They want to get a lot more customers. That's a big problem that I can solve for them. I work with women who are over 30 who are struggling to lose weight. Okay? If you help with weight loss, you help with health in general. Weight loss is one of the big things that a lot of people want when it comes to their health. So that's a juicy problem for women over 30 when it comes to working with their health. And if you work with people who have aging parents, you might say, I work with people with aging parents who need help taking care of their loved one. Because when people have aging parents, if you happen to provide some support around helping with in-home help, one of the biggest problems they need is help with taking care of their parents. Because it can be a full-time job. So take a moment, write down what is one of the juicy problems that you solve for your population. And it needs to be a problem that they would think of as a problem, not a problem that you think of as a problem. All right, so think about this from the perspective of your customer. What would they say is one of their biggest problems that you know that you can definitely help with? I'll come back over and take any questions for this part of the sentence. Raise your hand by pressing 1 if you have a question about this part of the sentence. All right, Gloria, you're on the air.
Hello, Dana. Can you hear me? How are you?
I can. I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm calling all the way from London, and my question is...
I bet you are, darling. It's good to have you.
Thank you. I don't want to keep it too long on the phone. My question is, I've just started a new business, which is is mainly for businesses, is providing products, i.e. chocolate mugs. It's providing products that companies can brand with their names and logos on them. I'm just wondering how I can get customers for my product.
Now, it's really staticky. So I think, let me just repeat back what I think I heard you say. You provide products that people can burn, B-U-R-N, like with fire?
No, that people can personalize.
Personalized, gotcha. So keychains, pens, magnets.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so it sounds like you work with businesses.
Yes, that's correct.
Who want to, in this case, it sounds like you're solving the problem of getting more customers. Because your products, when people walk away with a pen that has the company logo and name and website on it, people lose pens, people lend pens to other people, and so now there's this little piece of your company, this piece of marketing that people use all the time, a pen or a keychain or a bottle opener or the magnet on their fridge that they see all the time, and you're allowing companies to market in people's homes and in people's purses and bags, right? It travels with them. So it sounds like to me you're solving the problem of helping them get more customers. Yeah. Or get more business, or make more money, increase their profits. Because what does marketing do? It gets you more customers. What do customers do? Increase your profits. Grow your company, grow your reach. You get to help more people. So any of those, actually that would be the solution. So the problem then, because we're on the problem part of the sentence, the problem might be I work with companies who are struggling to get enough customers or who want more customers.
Okay.
Fantastic. Great question. Well done. All right. We've got Jana. Hello, Jana.
Hi. So now I guess my question was more towards this next part. I realized that asking it. It was about the who want part. And I'm wondering if more creative freedom is too vague or like too fluffy.
It is.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Excellent intuition. Yeah, we want to avoid things that are a bit kind of fluffy or whimsical. We want it to be really concrete. And we want it to be in the, ideally, the way that the customer would phrase it if they said it out loud or if they said it in their head. So there's probably not a lot of women walking around saying, how did the phrase go?
Want more creative freedom.
Yeah, I don't know if they walk around thinking, gosh darn it, really wish I had some more creative freedom right now.
Okay.
So, what solution do you provide, just so I can help you work backwards and think about the problem?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm moving in a new direction, but it's creativity, facilitation, and coaching. And with the classes I'm starting to offer, it's folks that are mostly women who have creative projects or artistic projects but feel blocked. So they want to help. I help them get in touch with their inner artist.
Well, you actually just said it. So I work with women who are feeling stuck on a project or feeling blocked around a project. But if that's how you think your customer might phrase it in their head, and I know that you're a creative person, speaking to the room, Jana she does her inner game work with me. So she knows about the power of working on the inner game. And that's why we know each other a bit. And so do you feel like, I know that you can qualify for your own population, so when you've got a project and you're feeling stuck, how might you phrase it in your head?
When I'm feeling stuck on a project, I feel blocked. Like it's like creative. It feels like there's a block in the way.
Okay. And so you might phrase it something like, who are struggling or who are feeling blocked around a project, or who are feeling blocked and can't finish a project, or something to that effect.
Yeah. I mean, specifically it's around creative projects.
You can add that in, who are feeling blocked around a creative project. There you go.
Okay.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Thanks for the question. Beautiful. All right, we've got Michelle Taylor Abney. Wait, was your hand raised, Michelle?
No, it's not.
Okay, sorry about that. The screen rolled and it looked like your hand was raised, but it is actually Rob's hand who was raised. Hello, Rob.
Hello there. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. So I kind of wanted to know how to simplify a wide business set. So basically I'm doing financial services for startups and small businesses, but that doesn't really ring a bell with a lot of the newly formed tech companies or a lot of the startups who think that that just means making sure you have money in the bank, right? So I've noticed that in discussions, it takes me a little bit longer to kind of get to an issue that they didn't realize was part of that total business set that we can help with. Like, for instance, collecting from their customers or things like that. How do you get to that faster when there's like 7 or 8?
Rob, you came to the perfect place. This is exactly what today's, this whole method that I'm going to teach you over the next number of weeks, and starting with today's piece, is perfect for what you need. Because exactly what I said earlier in the training today was, when you say what you do, which is I work, in financial services, people go, oh yeah, I know what that is. I don't need that. And so you never want to say your title. Instead, okay, so you work with, is your population startups? Is that who you might say sometimes?
Primarily startups, or even more specifically their founders or their CEOs, et cetera.
Ooh, perfect. I work with founders and CEOs of startups who, and then the problem that you solve, you said normally it takes you a while in conversation to get there, but what is some of the most common things that people go, ooh, you do that? I didn't know you did that. One of them is collect money from customers. What else?
Right. I guess the other is
that the main one?
It's not. The problem is that I'll do budgets, or I'll do budget variances, or I'll do projections, and for them that's kind of like, oh wait, I forgot that I needed that, or I forgot that that's something that I haven't been doing. So it's not like I can just say a keyword and they go, oh yeah, I totally need that. It's almost like reminding them that they needed it first and then telling them that we do it, that actually gets that light going on. That's what I've noticed so far, is that talking to people and saying, oh, we do this, this, and this, they kind of ignore. And then when you get down to the item, when you get down to a process that they're stuck on, then you remind them what the keyword was and they go, oh yeah, that's what that is. Now I remember I need it. So that's a little harder just to say budgeting or projections.
Yep. So what is the umbrella term that covers budgeting, projection, and collecting from customers? If we took it one level up, something that could encapsulate that, what might that be, those 3 things?
The only thing that would really cover all that is financial management. Everything finance related.
Yeah.
But that's a little too broad. People go, oh yeah, I have money.
Exactly. Okay, so we can't umbrella that way. Then sometimes what it helps to do is be specific. Now keep in mind, you don't need the sentence, and this is for everybody, so everybody let your ears listen up. You don't need this sentence to cover everything that you do. The purpose of this sentence, and the only thing you need it to do, is to inspire the other person to go, well, wait, what? What do you do? Or how does that work? Or how do you do that? You want curiosity so that the conversation continues. So keep in mind, this sentence is not meant to be the magic bullet that covers everything you do. All you want is to make sure that you don't have this happen. Someone says, hey, what do you do? You say, oh, I work in financial management. And they go, oh, okay, well, I work in I'm a massage therapist.
Right.
So you don't want the conversation to fall dead. So Rob, don't worry about trying to capture everything. All you want to do is to get that conversation going. And it's okay for it to be a conversation afterwards. So for now, maybe we can just throw 1 or 2 of those things in that tend to be the things where the founder or CEO says, oh, actually, I do need that. So one is collecting from customers. I heard you say that.
Right.
And then another one was, what did you say about projections?
Yeah, like projections, financial projections.
If you say financial projections,
and most people don't get it. I mean, Most of the time,
Yeah.
the only time they deal with that is if they're going for a bank loan or if they're talking to a venture capitalist. So that's not the easiest.
Okay, so you might say to them something, yeah?
Sorry, I was wondering if it might be a better idea to kind of go in and say, entrepreneurs or founders who want to, free up time to get back to growing the business. Because kind of that's a large part of what we do from a less technical standpoint is we kind of take all this day-to-day admin stuff that they could do, get it off their plate. We do it for them so they can kind of get one less thing off their plate,
Yes, so you can absolutely approach it from that angle, who are struggling with, getting caught up in the daily minutia.
Okay.
And then the other way to do it would be to say who are struggling with, well, you can even say who are struggling with daily minutia like collecting customer payments or putting together stuff to get funding, putting stuff together to get funding.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Excellent, Rob. All right. Fantastic question. And over to Daryl Roberts. Hello, you're on the air.
Hey, Dana, how are you doing?
Fantastic. Glad to have you with us. What's your question, love?
Well, I wanted to go over, first of all, I want to say this is absolutely amazing information. The first sentence alone will definitely help me, but I just want to do the second part of the sentence to see if it's just too small or does it need to be more robust. Like I help entrepreneurs brand and market and communicate their companies using video. Is that still too small, or would it need to be something more specific to backing? Because I can change the entrepreneurs to realtors, churches, coaches, etc., but brand, market, and communicate themselves more effectively using video tools. Is that too generic, or do I need to get more specific?
Well, we're missing the middle part of the sentence, which is naming the problem. And you went straight to the solution, which is brand and market, etc. So first, you're helping them solve the problem of marketing is to get more customers coming in and get known. Branding is to have a brand if they don't have one, right? To have a clear message. And you do branding, marketing, and what?
Communicate more effectively.
Okay. You're doing this with video. So sidebar, everybody please write this down. When he added onto the end there with video, it's very tempting for us to describe the process of what we do or to include the process of what we do whenever we do our marketing. And by the way, this sentence is part of your marketing. So ideally, almost nowhere in your marketing should you be describing the process of what you do. And I can get more into that in another day, but it's very tempting for us because we are the service provider, or we are the product provider. It's very tempting for us because we spend most of our time in the process to talk about the process. And it is something that will actually pull your customer's attention away from what is important, which is what you're actually providing as a solution. And it's also one of those things where they will unfortunately put you in a box again. So saying that you do it with video, they're going to go, oh yeah, I met some other video guy in the past.
Right.
So we don't want to introduce that element so soon on. And so I would drop the video piece, like with video, and then let's find the problem that you solved. So you work with entrepreneurs and real estate folk, and they are, who are struggling with or who need help with.
We're connecting more with their customers and their clients. So, for example, the average realtor will, if they show a house, they'll actually just send a text email back. Hey, Gray was saying we're looking at the houses, yada yada yada. But now the realtors that we work with, they'll send a video email, brand it with their real estate brand.
Yep.
And now when the person opens the email, they're looking at the person, their brand. So that connects them more with the content. And that's the message I'm trying to I want to take to another level.
So, Daryl, was it you who sent me those videos recently?
Yeah, asking those questions. Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so I've seen the body of your work. And all right, so if you think about what you're really providing for the people in real estate, or the people who are entrepreneurs, you're helping them get more sales. Because studies show that it can take, 7 to 14 points of contact before somebody signs up for something or buys something. So you're helping them with sales, actually, or getting more customers. So you could say, I work with entrepreneurs and real estate agents who want to get more sales.
Okay.
Or who want to close more deals. Or who need to close more deals. The phrasing is up to you.
Right.
But that's the problem you're solving.
Okay, you're absolutely right. I love it.
Great. Fantastic. Thank you, Daryl. Excellent question. Ooh, sorry, I cut you off right there.
No, I was just saying thank you guys. That helps out a lot.
Good. I am pleased. All right, beautiful. And down there. So, all right, you've got great questions, and through these questions, I'm hoping it's helping everybody get a sense of how to narrow down what to fill in the blank with. And let's screen going again. All right, the last part of the sentence. Next slide. All right, the last part of the sentence is the solution that you provide. So I get them, fill in the blank. I help them, fill in the blank. I support them in, fill in the blank. So some examples of that are, I get them an explosion of clients and income in 90 days or less. Right? That was the example sentence I gave you for me. For the person who helps women 30 and over who are struggling to lose weight, I help them reach their goal weight and keep it off for good. And for the person who helps people who have aging parents who are struggling to take care of their loved ones, I support them in finding an in-home aid so they can finally breathe and have a life again. So you can see that I've really tried to make the solutions juicy as well. Now I'll give you some tips for how to extra juicify your solutions. If you have any numbers that you can throw in, that's always useful. So if you can say something like, I help them reach the 6-figure mark, 6 figures, or I help them increase their profits by this many percent, right? And you can put a number in there. Or I've got a number of days. I help you get an explosion of clients and income in 90 days or less. So numbers are nice to help make it juicy. And also you'll notice how emotional the solution can be. I help them reach their goal weight and keep it off for good. Now if you think about what people want when they lose weight, it's not only to lose it, you've heard the problem over and over again of yo-yo dieting and of getting the weight back later. So you can see how this solution would be extremely juicy for someone who wants to lose weight. And therefore it takes a little bit of knowing your customer to know what are their juiciest problems and what are their most heartfelt desired solutions, and to learn a little bit about how they would phrase it, how they would word it, not how you would word it, because you got to speak to them, and you want to speak in a language that makes their ears perk up and go, wait a minute, what? What did you just say? That's exactly what I want. Get out of my head. Oh my gosh, I got to talk to you. That's exactly the response that you want when you've actually found a person who would be your client. And then, of course, I support them in finding an in-home aid so they can finally breathe and have a life again. Because if you know anything about what it is to be taking care of an aging parent while going to work and possibly having kids of your own, you've got no life. You're barely sleeping. You don't have time to eat and shower. It is crazy. So that's why being able to know your population helps you create a sentence that really speaks to them, to the heart of their problem, and to the exact solution they've been hoping for and dreaming for. So let's come back to the group. Raise your hand if you would like help with the last part of your sentence. We'll do some laser coaching. And I'll give you a moment, of course, to come up with some ideas so that you have a moment to think before you raise your hand. And one of the tips I'd like you to have is to not make the sentence too long. Do not make any part of the sentence too long. So anytime there's a blank for you to fill in, please don't fill it in with 3 things, with too many things. So when it comes to the population that you work with, try not to say, I work with men, women, and children. Or I work with women who are over 30, men who are over 30, and pets. It's just, once you have a list that gets that long, the person you're talking to can't track what you're saying anymore. Therefore, you cannot tap into the 100 people they know, and therefore they cannot refer 5 people to you all of a sudden. So try to keep it as succinct as possible. When you name the problem, try to name only 1 problem, maybe 2, if you're able to name 2 problems while still keeping that part of the sentence short and concise. When it comes to the solution, try to make it as succinct and concise as possible. Speak to the most exciting parts of the solutions that you can provide. Raise your hand by pressing 1 if you'd like some laser coaching. I've got Priya on the air. Hi, Priya.
Hi, how are you doing?
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing good. You can hear me clearly?
Very clearly, actually.
Nice, nice. Yeah, so Dana, basically my question is that based on your experience, which are some of the words which have really worked in when you're putting in these sentences?
What are some of the words that are the most useful? Is that what you said?
Yes. Or what are some of the words which are really which are really worked? Yeah.
Well, why don't you give me? Are you working on the last part of your sentence here?
Yes. So my background is basically I create websites and I help people get customers on their website.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay.
Hello?
So clearly you're probably working with entrepreneurs and business owners.
Correct.
Is that true? Okay. And you're building a website for them, right?
Yes.
And so the problem that they have is either they don't have a website or they have a crappy
no, most
website.
of them, they have a website.
Okay,
Yeah.
so is it all about wanting to update their website? Their website's outdated or old?
I think it's more towards getting something out of their website.
When you say getting something out of their website, do you mean making it be able to help them get a mailing list going or help them get some sign-ups?
So a lot of them, they want more traffic on the website.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay,
And,
so it sounds like
yes.
so part of the problem that you're answering or helping with is you work with business owners who are struggling to get traffic to their website.
Correct.
Okay, so if it were me, I might start my sentence that way. And I help them. Now, do you have like a certain amount of time that you tend to work with people, like 60 days or 90 days?
I would say like about 3 months.
Okay, 90 days, great. So you could say something like, now is there a certain amount of, like can you double their traffic usually? Or triple it?
Yes.
Oh, hot. Okay, so you wanted to find some words that are hot and sexy and juicy. You can say things like, I help them triple their traffic in 90 days or less.
Amazing, amazing. Okay. Mm-hmm.
There you go. So if I heard somebody say that sentence at a networking event, there's a lot of people that I'd be like, ooh, I know a lot of people who want to talk to you. So that's a very hot sentence, Priya. All right.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dana. Yeah, that really hit it right where I wanted it.
Oh, perfect. I'm so pleased. Great question, and thanks for raising your hand. Thanks for joining us as well. All right, we've also got Alan. Alan,
Hi
hello, you're
again.
on the air.
Hi, Dana, again.
Hi.
I guess like my main question would be, what if, say for example, you have competitors going for the same field, or say for example you are kind of marketing for the network of people that they have, right? And say for example they say, oh, like I know someone who's doing exactly the same thing, or he's doing great work, or blah blah, or something like that, you know.
Great question. That's why this last part of the sentence is so important, because you'd like to be able to say something interesting about your solution that makes you stand out. So that, you know, sometimes you can add an amount of time. Like, you know, we can do X in 30 days. We can, you know, we can take collections and we can take all the minutia of collections and what's the looking for? Even if I just painted the example with that one thing. So we take all the work of collections off their hands in 30 days or less. Or we put all their collections in a system so they never have to look at it again. And it's always being done. Now that's a little bit verbose, but I'm trying to give you this example of how you can make it stand out. Because yeah, okay, other people might handle collections too. But what makes you interesting? What can you say that makes you stand out a little bit, that you're a little different?
I see.
And part of that is sometimes being able to look back at what you've done in the past and collect some data from it, or figure out some data like, did we triple their this? Did we double their that? Did we do this in half the time? Did we increase? Because we took over their collections, did we get them 33% more revenue than when they were trying to do it by themselves?
So what is it, for example,
people,
I'm sorry, please go.
When it comes to angel funding, you know, do we tend to get people angel funding in half the time than if they try to do it alone?
I see. So say for example, if you have I'm sure say for example, if you have those guarantee, like say for example 90 days or less, or 30 days or less, right? And most likely, of course, they might ask two main questions, right? One would be, is that like a guaranteed thing? Or second question would be, I guess, how would you actually do that, right? So I guess sort of it's a twofold.
Working with that is what's going to be coming in the future trainings. So if you were here for the part where I showed you the 4 color bars of how this is going to work, and I taught you, there's one color bar that says, sidestepping pitfalls, how to avoid pitfalls. That's one of the pitfalls to avoid, is when they say, how do you do this? Because that's not one of the questions you want to be answering at a networking event. I'll just tell you, sneak peek into future training. That is not one of the questions you want to be answering at a networking event. Ideally, this conversation is only going to take 5 minutes. Well, the whole entire process. So you're gonna start this. You can do it in 3 minutes. The 3-minute piece that I was really naming today is just this sentence. It's really 1 minute, because it takes less than a minute to say this sentence. But you say this sentence, and then the ideal process includes just a very short conversation at the networking event, and then hooking up outside of the networking event to do a deeper conversation. And there's definitely a lot of things you don't want to get into conversation about at the networking event. I'm going to teach you what those things are and how to avoid them or sidestep them gracefully. And one of them is, how do you do that? So, and when it comes to things like, is that a guarantee? It doesn't have to be a guarantee. You can say, it's not a guarantee, that's just the usual results we get for people. Or you can say, well, that's a guarantee so long as you you wouldn't say this at a networking event. You would say, yeah, it's a guarantee. We can talk about how that works later. Now, the guarantee usually would have to be something like, if they follow and turn in all these things on time, right, then it can happen in 90 days. But if people delay and they don't get stuff to you on time, there's no way it's going to happen in 90 days. So you can set up guarantees so that they fit a certain format. And if the person doesn't follow it, then they can't say to you, hey, it didn't work in 90 days. Well, guess what? You didn't fulfill your part on time. And then of course they won't say anything because they'll be like, oh yeah, I guess I guess you can't make it happen in 90 days if I haven't gotten all that data to you.
Yeah.
So,
or I guess like avoiding the same people. Say for example, they know people that they know the other people whom say for example you had a bad I guess like transaction with. Like I'm assuming like of course like any business would have like those, right? Like say for example, like of course you have like successful transactions and some wouldn't turn out like to be not so nice, and sometimes people kind of spread word and stuff.
I'm not exactly certain if you're talking about people are going to spread word about you, or people are, or the other, or the CEO is going to have trouble with collecting from a certain person.
Like say for example, because let's just say that if you are targeting a niche market, then eventually it'll become like a sort of like a small market, right? It's just sort of like a small community, and the same people know each other. And say for example, you've dealt a bad you did a transaction with one person, and the business didn't turn out to be okay, and then eventually word spread, and eventually they will
yes, you are naming something that can happen, but when you have the appropriate outer game education, when you have the appropriate business education, and I'm talking about simple stuff here, because the whole reason I've been successful is because I've kept it simple. I've learned how to simplify business, and when it comes to having quote unquote messed up with somebody, you would never leave it as a mess up. You would clean it up and fix it so there are no bad things going on around you, no bad words about your company spreading, because you will have learned how to address when something has gone wrong so that you always have happy customers. That is not an impossibility if you know what you're doing. So you can absolutely prevent that by cleaning up your mistakes really well with the customers and making it right. So no worries on that front, Alan. And I'm going to keep us going because we're going to run out of time to get to the final pieces here. Thank you, Alan, for your question. We've got Rania Jones. Hello, you're on the air. Rania?
Hi. Hello?
Hello. Now I can hear you.
Hi. I'm sorry about that. So my question is, if you have like multiple businesses, like maybe a couple or two multiple, how would you like incorporate all businesses in one sentence without saying too much?
You can't. So I have multiple businesses as well. You need a separate sentence for each business. And you'll probably have a couple sentences per business. Like I said, you'll probably have 2 or 3 versions of the sentence for your for per one business. So if you have 3 businesses, you will have a couple sentences per business. And you will use the one, you will pull out the sentence that most likely fits who's sitting in front of you.
Okay.
And sometimes it's just using your best guess and using your intuition and pulling one of the sentences out and using it, and then through the conversation you can throw in more. But don't try to do it all at once. The sentence, remember, is merely to capture curiosity and interest so that you can go into the next part of the conversation, which I will teach you next time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
thank you.
1 sentence per business. Great question. You're welcome, love. Okay, and last question. Jana, you're on the air.
Hi.
Hi.
So, what I came up with, I support them in uncovering and moving past their fears in order to, and I'm having trouble with saying complete a creative project in 3 months because I can't guarantee that. I can guarantee that in 3 months' time they'll make significant like progress and moving past their blocks, but the creative process is such that you can't guarantee that something's going to be done in any amount of time.
Yeah, you don't have to, nobody has to use guarantees or anything like that. That's just one way to work with numbers. And you don't have to work with numbers. You'll notice that some of the examples that I gave, that I think are still up on that page right now if you're visually watching, I help them reach their goal weight and keep it off for good. There's no numbers in that. There's no, set time in that. I support them in finding an in-home aid so they can finally breathe and have a life again. Zero.
Yeah, I mean, more of it is really in the helping people move past their fears and having more confidence in their projects and more trust in themselves, I guess. It's about getting lasering in. But yeah, I don't want to get too.
Yes, but I want to caution against that type of solution. Helping them get more trust in themselves, unless you know that the people who are your population tend to really want that specifically as a goal. If they say to you, if you hear a lot of people who you would work with say to you, I want to trust myself more so I can reach my, create my project. If that is the truth, then yes, you can use that phrasing. My sense is, and I could be wrong, but my sense is I don't know that they would say it that way.
Right.
I think they might want to just get their project done with ease and flow.
Yeah, it's definitely getting the project done with ease and flow, and the way that happens is moving these blocks out of the way, which basically are just limiting beliefs and fears.
Yes, but remember, we do not want to talk about the process. We do not want to talk about the how or what you're doing. All we want to name is the final solution.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. So the final solution is, what do people want when they're blocked on a project? What is their ultimate outcome that they want?
They want to be able to move through it with ease and flow.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Move through it quickly. They probably want quickly is my guess. Move through the block.
Yeah.
I help them complete the project quickly and with ease and flow.
Okay.
Or complete the project on time and in ease and flow. I don't know. I'm not sure in your population if they generally probably have a deadline or not for some of their projects.
It's depending. I'm still, this is newer for me, but some of them do and some don't. Sometimes it's a personal project.
Complete their project. You can test. Remember, you're getting your draft number 1. Speaking to everybody, you're getting draft number 1 of this sentence today. You're going to continue to refine your draft. You're going to end up with draft number 2 and draft number 3 in the future, but the only way you can do that is to work on it a little bit after we complete the training today, and then to go out in public and test it on people and watch their reaction and notice if in conversation with people you figure out a better way to phrase some part of the sentence. Maybe after talking to a few people, you end up hearing a similar phrase. I just want to get my project done quickly. And you go, ooh, I've heard quickly as a key word now a few times. Maybe I should add that into my solution. I help them get their projects done quickly and with ease. Maybe you end up hearing the word with grace all the time. For some reason your population uses the word grace a lot. Then you might change your sentence to, I help them get their projects done with ease and grace. Right? It's all about using the kind of thought patterns and languages that your customers would actually use. You want to use their lingo, not yours.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Fantastic. Great questions, everyone. Let's come back to draft off. Okay. So now you've got the full sentence. So I was going to pair you up. Let me see what time it is. I was going to pair you up so you can get a little bit of feedback from somebody in the group and test it out. Now, I am using a system that allows me to put you in pairs. And let's see if we can get that to work. So here we go. Let me give this a shot. Okay. All right, everybody is in groups now. Everybody should be in a group of 2, and there'll be one person or one group in a group of 3. So I think you all are hearing me still, I hope. And so I'm going to give you maybe about 3 minutes each, and those that are in the group of 3, you'll just want to kind of move a little bit quicker through this. You have 3 people to go through. You're going to get 3 minutes each, and I'll let you know when 3 minutes is up, where you can share your sentence and then get a little bit of feedback on if something could be clearer, or just kind of is it a little bit confusing, or which part is too long, or just getting someone else to give you a little bit of support around your sentence. So I'm noticing that some people, the group has just changed a little bit. I'm going to restructure it. All right. So go ahead. You are connected with another person now. Go ahead and share your name. And one person, just go ahead and begin. All right, everyone. I just realized that some folks, I think, don't have their mics on. They're calling in from maybe Skype or something like that. I just remembered that I unmuted people and it didn't work. So I'm actually going to take us out of our groups for the moment. And we're going to work on, we'll continue forward because not everybody has a microphone, so some people are not able to hear other people. So here we go. We've done already some coaching on, some laser coaching on how to use your sentences. You've gotten some help with that today. So here's what to do. You've got your sentence. You can work on it a little bit more after we get off the training today, and then go and practice it on some people. Get some feedback from your friends or roommates or coworkers, and then go out, and when you're on the subway, when you're on the tube, when you're out at a party, when you're at your next networking event, whip it out and give it a try. And this does mean that you'll have to memorize it. It's only one sentence long, so just take a little bit of time to do your best and do your best to memorize it. Don't worry if you mess it up. It's not a big deal. One of the main ways to get good at this is through practice. So that means go out there and allow the first 20 times to be a stumble. Because the only way you're going to get comfortable with it is to allow yourself to get through that first 20 times of stumbling. So just allow that to be the case if it needs to be. And then you'll get better at it. And then the next time we meet, I'll teach you the next piece to what to say after you use this sentence. So whip out a piece of paper and a pen, or if you're at your computer, I'm going to give you a few awesome things, a few awesome resources to work with. One is you are part of the Entrepreneur and Small Business Institute. And I want to introduce a website to you, which is www.esbinstitute.com. And ESB stands for Entrepreneur, Small Business, so ESBinstitute.com. go ahead and go there. I'm in pre-launch right now, so you all are getting pre-launch access. This is a members site for all of us who are members of the Entrepreneur and Small Business Institute. And there you will have access to free video training and audio trainings on business. I'm going to do my best to record the trainings that we do so that if you have to leave early, if something weird happened, if you couldn't see the visuals, some of them will get posted up on there, and you'll have a chance to either see it for the first time or see it again in review. And you're also going to get invited to private live trainings. So another reason you want to be on there is to get invited to private live trainings. And you're going to have the chance to win gifts and prizes in our drawings and contests. Now we're going to start that contest today. So after you've written down ESBInstitute.com or open another tab on your browser, ESB, Entrepreneur and Small Business, ESBInstitute.com, then I'm going to introduce the contest that we're going to have. So it's going to be a raffle, and you're going to get tickets. You're going to get entries into this raffle. And here's how you can get the entries, all free. Number one, get as many new people to join your chapter of ESBI on meetup.com. So each of you came through meetup.com. You're on meetup.com somehow, and you belong to a particular chapter of ESBI. So get your friends to come and help build the community, because this is truly your community. And I want you to have ownership over it. I want you to be able to invite people to come. And whoever you invite to come, number one, you're going to have a very happy friend on your hand because they're going to get invited to a lot of private live trainings, and they're going to get a lot of free training. They're going to be pretty stoked on you. Number two, you're going to grow the community. And that means, number one, having your tribe and your friends with you as you come along and grow your business. And number two, you are bringing more people into the community, which means more people to network with. When we have the events, even online, there's going to be opportunities to network. Once we figure out, I'm going to make sure that everybody has, I'm going to send instructions next time to make sure that people have their microphones working so that we can network when we're on these calls, because I can break you up into groups. And number two, when we're live in your town, you're going to be doing plenty of networking, and you get to, of course, use what you learned today to come home with a wait list of people that want to talk to you. So get your friends to come and join your chapter of ESBI on meetup.com, and then email us the names of your friends at info, I-N-F-O, as in information, info@DanaGarrison.com. For every person who joins, that is your friend, you get a raffle ticket entry. That's one way to get raffle tickets. Another way, and I encourage you to do one of each, is to rate this event on meetup.com. So if you open another tab right now to meetup.com and go to your chapter of ESBI, you can rate this meetup. You'll probably get an email today or tomorrow that reminds you to rate this meetup. Not certain on that though, but go ahead and rate this meetup. For everybody who rates the meetup, you're going to get a ticket into the raffle. And then third, make a quick, this one's fun because you're going to get some free advertising. Make a quick video testimonial and put it up on YouTube. It can just be a 1-minute thing from your camera phone, from your webcam on your laptop. Put it up on YouTube and then send us the link to your testimonial at info@DanaGarrison.com, same place, info@DanaGarrison.com. And I'm going to give you a quick tutorial right now, a quick tip on how to do these video testimonials and make sure you get your free advertising in there, because the most exciting thing about this is that you get free advertising and people get to see you, and that is a very compelling way to market. And keep in mind that people love videos when it's just you in your regular clothes in a regular place like your house. People, for some reason, they've done research, they love videos that are just very you, right? So it doesn't have to be like you're in your suit and everything's all professional and you're in this professional setting. No. People love the ones that are just taken from your camera phone and you're just doing it with your hand. Those get the highest ratings all the time. So don't try to make this look all great. It doesn't have to be. If you want to make it all professional, you can too. Have fun with it. So the 1-minute video testimonial, you begin with your name, then, and write this down, begin with your name, and then the name of your business, and then the testimonial. So for example, hey everyone, my name is DanaGarrison, and I run Entrepreneur and Small Business Institute, ESBIinstitute.com. I just attended ESBI's training on how to come home with a wait list of customers by having 3-minute conversations. And it was amazing because she took us through the entire training. She gave us laser coaching the whole way through. I got to ask questions, and when I walked away, I had a complete sentence ready to go. I got so many good ideas, and I'm totally ready to go out into the world and get more customers. I was completely, so basically your name, the name of your business, and then just say what you enjoyed about today's training. That's it. Then upload it onto YouTube, send us the link. And when you do that, you're going to get 3 raffle entries for that. And then last raffle ticket way, is go to tinyurl.com. Tiny as in small, T-I-N-Y. URL as in URL as in domain name. tinyurl.com /ESBI, the initials of our organization, ESBI fun, as in let's go out and have some fun. So tinyurl.com /ESBI fun. On there, you're going to find that I've got a form where you can give me feedback. So please give me feedback. You will get 3 more tickets into the raffle. And what it asks for is, what did you like about today? What did you want to see more of? What do you want to get trained on in the future? Because I want to know what is most important for you. Like, what is your biggest business problem right now? Because I'll create a training on it, right? I can create trainings on whatever they are. But I can't create trainings on it if I don't know what you want trainings on. So please be sure to go here and tell me. So tinyurl.com ESBI fun. tinyurl.com /ESBI fun. So you get 3 raffle tickets for that. By the way, there's going to be 15 winners. That's right, 15 winners. So the more raffle tickets you have in here, the better. So just to go back, the contest, you get 1 ticket for every person that joins the meetup group, your chapter of the meetup group. You got to email us their names. You get 1 ticket per person. Then rate this event on Meetup. You'll get another point for that, another raffle ticket for that. Make a video testimonial and get some free advertising. Email us the video. You'll get 3 raffle tickets for that. And then fill out the feedback form. It's really short. That way I know what to create trainings on. And you'll have an opportunity to get some more free advertising. You'll see on there I'll give you another chance to get free advertising. So fill that out and you'll get 3 more raffle tickets. We're going to have 15 winners, and the 15 winners will win the Entanglements and Imprints Crash Course. So you heard that Jana was in our group, and she's been working with me doing the inner game of success. And this is the piece that is often left out and forgotten, and people wonder why they're struggling in business or it's not going as fast as they would like. Well, it's because they haven't addressed their inner game. So the Entanglements and Imprints Crash Course is a 4-week crash course on the inner game of success. And you're going to learn the main cause of any self-sabotage that might be happening unconsciously in the background. And this is important because self-sabotage is the stuff that's going to keep you held back no matter how much business training you have. You're going to uncover your own blocks to income and business success specifically. This is really important. You need to know what about any blocks that you have around money coming in or bigger numbers of money coming in, as well as having this sort of unconscious permission to have business success. If you haven't addressed this, no matter how good you are in business, it's not going to happen. That's what I've learned. That's what I've seen. And then there's also going to be a grand prize winner who gets all of that, plus they get to be a featured business. So when you're a featured business at the ESBI, you get to tell the whole room who you are and what you do, what it is that you offer. So that's a whole other moment of free advertising. So do all of those things. You've got 4 things to do. It's going to get you raffle tickets for a contest, 15 people will win. You'll get the 4-week crash course to work on your inner game of success, the piece that gets left out the most often when it comes to business success. Somebody's also going to get to be a featured business and get to tell everybody all about what they offer. That is awesome because you've got a bunch of people in the community who will know what you do and can refer to you or decide to sign up with you. And there's ways for me to get to learn what you want in the trainings in the future, so make sure that you get to that feedback form and let me know what you want. And then join us next time. You'll get another, of course, through Meetup, you'll get an announcement. And through the ESBI community, you'll get an announcement that names our next training, because it's one thing to have this sentence. It's a whole other thing to be able to know how to use it so that you walk home with a wait list. And this is the first piece. It's extremely important. So you've got the how-to for that now. Go out and practice it. Give it a shot. See what feedback you get. Ask your friends about it. And then we will see you next time. Make sure you've got 4 things to do for the raffle now, so make sure that you get a chance to do those real quick. They don't take but a moment. Each of them is really short. We'll have 15 winners. And thank you so much for joining us today. It has been an absolute pleasure. It's nice to have everybody here from all around the world. We've got a nice community growing. And yes, we will be having live events at each location. And until next time, go out there and have a blast playing with your sentences, getting some feedback, and entering yourself into our raffle. We will announce the winners in the week to come. So go out there and have a blast, everybody, and we will see you next time. Everybody be well and take care. Bye now.